So, it's Thursday afternoon, 2 p.m. and I'm having a glass of Cheetah Suntory whiskey. Why? Because I can. And it tastes really good. Just a small one. What I want to talk about today is capitalism and what people are doing in capitalism and why they don't behave like capitalists actually. It's really quite funny. In school we don't learn how to deal with money at all. They teach us everything, a lot of useless stuff. I still know how to write a sheet of notes from music class or whatever. Hated it so much. But I never knew how to make my taxes. Luckily I didn't have to because my accountant is doing it. But some people have to do it by themselves. We live in post-capitalism right now, which is probably the most capitalistic society the world has ever seen, at least in the West. And the rest of the world is suffering because of this. And a lot of people just don't know how to behave in this world, in this system. And it's getting harder and harder these days to feed your family with just one job. Or just if you're a single mom or a single dad, it's almost impossible to feed a family of 2 or 3 with just one job. Here in Germany it's becoming harder and harder to find affordable housing for families. There are many reasons for that, but the main reason being simply that capitalism is way too unregulated, has always been, will always be. Lobbyism, money rules the world, and well, taxes that should be paid are not being paid. We can complain about this and go cry in the basement at night. It's not gonna help. So what can we do about this? Well, as you are probably listening to this because you want to be a trader or you come from Tradeciety, then you already recognize there's a problem. Or you realize that trading is one of the few ways people can use these days to grind out a living which is more than life-sustaining, for example. A lot of people, they just work to pay their rent and their food, and that's it. And then if they are lucky, they can get one holiday per year. So if you are one of those people, then I can understand why you are in trading. Maybe you're a student, you don't know what to do with your life later on. You don't want to have an office job, you just don't see it as a legit career. There are many reasons to get into trading. And many of those reasons are the wrong reasons too. At least in the beginning. I think most of us get into trading because of the money and the lifestyle that we want, and not because trading itself is a passion. I mean, looking at charts, who grows up as a kid and says, I want to look at charts? But there is something to trading that attracts us. And that feeling is simply knowing that something is wrong in the system, that you have to take so much risk, you have to take on such a risky venture as trading. So I read this statistic the other day that more than 50% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings, which is just insane. Most people just really don't know how to live a life in capitalism. And that has mainly to do, as I said before, with education. No one ever taught us how to deal with money, how to accumulate money, how to keep it, and how to make more. So capitalism only lives because you and a lot of other people spend a lot of money on things they don't really need. There always has to be growth. In capitalism you grow or you die. That's simply how it is. So the marketing machinery makes sure that you always have the newest iPhone, the newest MacBook, whatever, latest car, biggest house. Everyone wants to have all these things. They don't even know why, but we just need them, and this is just never going to stop. So the biggest problem for everyone, and especially for traders, is the initial accumulation of base capital. Because once you pass by a certain threshold, making meaningful returns on your account will be much easier, and being able to pay for your cost of living and at the same time growing your account will become much easier as well. So the biggest problem, as always, is the initial accumulation of capital in any business venture, and that is true for trading as well. So if you truly want to be a successful capitalist, then you need to have a lot of money and you need to make that money work for you. And there's no way around that. There's no shortcut besides winning the lottery. You just need to save. You need to acquire multiple income streams. You need to live a savvy lifestyle. You need to open up sources of income. I mean, once you have marketable skills like being a profitable trader, you can acquire money through other sources than simply saving up. But the point is, you need to reach that critical threshold of initial capital accumulation. And I would say that should be around 50,000 US dollars if you don't have a family. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot to some of you. Maybe to some of you it sounds like a lot. I'm not too sure. With $50,000, if you risk 1% per trade, as we talked about in the last video, you don't necessarily have to risk that much. You can also risk half of it. You risk 500 euros. If you make 2 hours per week, so that's 1,000 euros, that's 4,000 euros. After tax, might be 3,000 depending on where you live. That already puts you in the top 10% of income in Germany, for example. And from there, you can then build your capital base and also acquire other income streams as you go. The more income streams you have, the more money you make, the more opportunities will open up, the easier it will be for you to create a legacy for yourself and for your family as well, and for generations to come. So I guess the message of this video is, if you want to truly be a capitalist, if you want to win at this game called capitalism, and you live in a capitalistic society, most of us do, but as I said, no one really plays this game correctly, then you need to find a way to open up multiple income streams. You need marketable skills that are scalable. You need to find a way to make your money work for you. And you always need to live below your means so you can accumulate more and more capital. And then you will get to that certain threshold where it becomes easier and easier and easier. And that's really the only way how to play capitalism in the right way. I mean, some people try to take shortcuts by taking huge risks, or by opening up companies with venture capital and so on. And it works for some of them. You never hear about the 99% that have to file for Chapter 7, go bankrupt, whatever. So slow and steady wins the race, in my opinion. But slow and steady doesn't mean 10 years. It means 5 years. 5 years of combined effort, living savvy, working hard, saving up your money, opening up multiple income streams, creating marketable skills that are scalable. Scalable is always the magic word here. Scalable means compound interest, for example. It means selling a product that doesn't need any support, for example, from your side. You sell it and then you're done. Can be trading skills. Trading is very scalable depending on, of course, what asset you are trading. So just realize there is nothing bad about playing this game, because you live in this game and you are simply a pawn. And if you want to move up to be the king, then you have to change your mindset, you have to change your approach to money, and you certainly have to ditch your daytime job. Because as I said, this is post-capitalism. It's not gonna get better. It's just gonna get worse. Payment is gonna get worse. Job security is gonna get worse. And overall, for employees, life is gonna get worse and worse. Unless, of course, you are working for one of the big tech companies. But even there, I would say job security is a big issue. If you want to take this into your own hands and you want to become a good player at capitalism, then start reading books, start educating yourself, start getting the skills that you never were taught in school for whatever reason. That's the topic for another video. Take your life into your own hands and don't let anyone tell you you can't do that, because that's just the easy way out. If you don't have balls and you want to grind for the rest of your life, be my guest. Capitalism needs you. Capitalism needs a lot more people than you than it needs rich people. So if you want to be one of those little ants, worker bees, whatever, then go ahead. If not, well, start doing something today.